These guidelines are intended to maintain order, keep the board on task, and prevent interference with an employee's appeal rights. The board looks forward to hearing from the public and thanks you for your participation. Okay, our first public speaker is Anabel Chávez.
Can I go ahead now?
Go ahead.
Dear President Dr. Anthony Cruz and esteemed members of the District Board of Milwaukee Area Technical College, we write on behalf of the Multicultural Coalition to reclaim MATC, united under the call to restore the four. Our coalition is comprised of community organization, faith leaders, labor partners, and concerned residents committed to justice, equity, and the ethical governance of Milwaukee Area Technical College, an institution of critical importance to the greater Milwaukee community. We express our deep concern regarding the termination of 4 employees of color under your administration. On August 19, 2025, these individuals received termination letters signed by Dr. President Cruz, citing resident changes in the U.S. governance policy as justification. Our coalition strongly disputes both the rationale and the process underlying these actions. We do not believe that the proposed services intended to replace the Multicultural Center sufficiently appropriately meet the needs of MATC diverse student body. The elimination of established multicultural service without meaningful engagement with affected communities represents a significant step backward with MATC's long-standing commitment to access, inclusion, and student success. Community members attended both the August and September district board meetings to request a community center response to these dismissals. Since that time, this has been little to no meaningful communication regarding the board confirmation, publicly comment processes, or the multiple independent outreach efforts made directly to MATC administration and senior leadership. The continued absence of response and the ignoring of community voices raises serious concerns about how communication between the college and the community is being handled, safeguarded, and respected. These concerns are further amplified by the recent opening of the new spaces within the Community Impact Department. To date, there has been minimal observable engagement within these spaces following their grand opening. Beyond ceremonial entry, there is a little evidence of sustained programming, active community partnership development, or real-time responsiveness to student needs. The limited engagement calls into question the department's current capacity to effectively serve students and fulfill the state mission. Taken together, these gaps must be addressed and considered as part of our call to reinstate a framework that was demonstrated operative and effective, rather than continuing to advance a model that appears misaligned and with students' needs and shaped by current political considerations rather than evidence-based practices. Accordingly, we formally call for the immediate reinstatement of the 4 terminated employees and the librarian, who was wrongfully terminated, full restoration of lost wages and benefits, and independent audit of MATC Human Resources practices, echoing previous community calls for transparency and accountability. Absent responsive action, many stakeholders have expressed serious concerns about their ability to recommend MATC as a place of employment and higher education. The solution currently offers neither acknowledgement the significant work accomplished by these employees, nor addresses the tangible harm caused by their removal. The greater Milwaukee community stands united on these issues. As a community, we seek accountability, transparency, and demonstrate commitment to justice. Respectfully, the Multicultural Coalition to reclaim MATC. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our next speaker is Carlos Aranda, sorry.
Dear members of Milwaukee Area Technical College District Board, I attend before you once again to ask you to do what is ethically and morally right. Milwaukee Area Technical College is a public institution. It is funded by taxpayers and supported by donors who trust that the contribution advance education, not finance preventable lawsuit settlements or the consequence of unlawful employment practices. Public funds must never be used to defend action that leadership knew were unjust. This concern is not new. In December 2024, I addressed the board regarding a female employee who had filed multiple formal complaints while she was on approved FMLA leave. Her position was eliminated, effectively terminated her employment. That decision raised serious ethical and legal concerns. In September 2025, a female librarian who has been performing full-time duties as a full-time adhere applied for a permanent position. She was already effectively doing. Instead, HR hired an outside candidate with less experience. She was now offered a return to her prior full-time role and was left unemployed. This reflects not only poor judgment, but failure of basic fairness and stewardship. More recently, another female employee disclosed that she was ill and taking prescribed medication with known side effects. After being found asleep at work, she was brought into a fact-finding process that could have led to termination. Rather than first offering ADA accommodation information, engaging in the legal requirements interactive process, or responding with basic empathy, she was placed on a disciplinary track. The psychological distress became so significant that she ultimately requested early retirement. These three cases involve white women. This demonstrates that the issue before us is not confined to race alone. Women across race, age, and role are being harmed under the current administration on our watch. This is not a leadership, this is harmful. In September 2025, 5 employees, publicly known as the 4+1, were terminated. 4 women and 1 man, all from protected group. The removal had ripple effect throughout the institution: fear, silence, disengagement, and erosion of trust. The cases I have mentioned are not isolated cases. They are examples. There are many more employees who have experienced retaliation, intimidation, marginalization, and procedures irregulations. What the public sees is only a fraction of what is currently happening internally. Therefore, I am asking you directly: reinstate the 5 terminated employees, restore the lost wages and benefits, commit publicly to an independent review of employment practices, ensure that anti-retaliation protections are honored, not only written policy, but in a daily practices. If the board is unwilling to correct actions that have caused documented psychological and financial harm, then I respectfully ask you to reflect on whether continue serving align with your moral responsibilities. Leadership requires moral courage, especially when correction is uncomfortable. The community is watching. Do what is right. Thank you.
Thank you. The next agenda item is approval of the minutes. May I have a motion for approval?
I move approval.
Yeah.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Next, we're moving on to the consent agenda items. May I have a motion for approval of the consent agenda?